Yes, here we are. We are on the flip side with a video following on from Down to the Wire because it really did give me a bit of a feeling of deja vu when I was looking through my replays to see what I should put on the channel. And we're here in the Tier 7 Pan-Asian destroyer, the Loyang. And this was a campaign reward. When we had the choice between the Loyang and the Friesland, I did pick up both. Now, it did come with a camo already, so that is the standard camo there. And I think it was the Golden Week or something like that camo that makes it look like the Loyang has got her best underwear on. She certainly looks very pretty like that. I actually like this one. It's not too bad. Let's have a look at the ship itself. It has got extended smoke screens, so it's got very, very long smoke. It's quite quick on the guns as well, and it is very agile. And getting into the build that I have on it at the moment, we'll see here that we are running a fairly standard build that I run on most of my DDs. We've got aiming systems mod 1, and then switching over we've got reduced rudder shift just to make it that little bit more agile. And then we're running concealment system mod 1, and then we are on to main battery reload because I do run this more as a gunboat. But torpedo wise, you do have a fifth slot there which gives you the option for some shorter range torpedoes that do a lot more damage and are a lot faster, but I choose not to run that. And its party trick is this, a 5.4 kilometer sonar, which is the longest range sonar on a destroyer. Captain wise, I'm running Den Shishang and I've got Bear and Sims on there. The thing is with this guy, you can put Swirsky on there, but an alternative if you want to run a more of a gunboat build is Ding, because he does give you a faster reload and the option to will to rebuild as well. And then you've got Sa Zhenbing, who reduces the ricochet angle, and if you want to go monster gunboat without the concealment, you can rack up some extra damage. You can bring the reload down even further as well. So there's a few different builds there. One of the things that I've been lacking to try out better builds is promotion items, but I'm working on those because I do think that even though I can play this ship quite capably with the build, captain and inspirations that I have, that there is perhaps better builds that I could put on it. I'd certainly like to be running more of a gunboat build on it. This is kind of somewhere in between the two. Now, as far as playability goes, I would say the Loyang is a little bit like playing something between a Fletcher and a Lightning, because you've got the sonar that the British destroyer line has, but you've also got decent guns on this and decent AA as the Fletcher would play. Now, I do sometimes feel that these guns are a bit underpowered, but I've looked through the stats of other Tier 7 destroyers, and actually they're on par or better than a number of the destroyers that are out there at this tier, and that actually surprised me. So, like I said, I don't know every technical aspect of every ship in the game like some do, so every now and then I need to go and take a look. Now, I didn't get the team sheet at the start of this because I clipped it a little bit too late to have the team sheet there for me. But we have got 3 destroyers. There is also a division of 3 battleships. I think it's 2 Monarchs and a Bismarck. And I've spawned here on BCAP, and as is always the case, everybody seems to run to the flanks. Now, for whatever reason, I think it's because we've got a division of 3 battleships stacked on one cap. We got 2 destroyers put onto A, and one of those destroyers is going to come charging all the way across the map. Now, I would say that abandoning your cap is a bad thing, but there are other ships heading across there to keep the numbers up, so not a bad start, although red team are straight on to A cap. Now there is an Ochakov out there on red team, and with it being a very nasty cruiser to go up against, ideally he'd be a priority. Now he is across there on air cap, and so I can understand why that destroyer does not want to go into the capture point, because the minute he contests it, he is going to get lit up on radar, and that will probably be game over for him. So we've been in, we've taken B cap, as was my thoughts, and this is the thing, with experience of the game, what is a Division of 3 battleships going to do if they spawn on B cap? They're going to run away from it, because they know that they are likely to have, with 3 destroyers in the game, a destroyer out in front of them. But in abandoning that centre, Cap, what they have done is given me the ability to go in and take it, and now I am out on their flank, and we are going to play, dare I say, it's a fairly static game here. But what we're going to do is, as we did in the last game, we are going to try and make these guys feel uncomfortable. Now, we did get detected there because we pulled the trigger slightly before our smoke screen appeared, but the Bismarck and the 2 Monarchs know that I am out here now. Now, there is another battleship coming along, and I get my first kill of the game, which was an Ognavoy, and it was completely unexpected, but he does soak a torpedo that was heading for the battleships, but we do land another hit. I think that was on the Bismarck. And given that we've got this nice long smoke screen, and there is a destroyer out there now on that flank of C cap, he's come motoring all the way across here. It looks to be even Stevens. They are trying to stay bowing to those guys on that capture point and push in to try and take it. Meanwhile, I am here on their flank, being as much of a nuisance as I can. Now, I don't want to get in the way of a salvo from any of these battleships, so we're just going to keep playing around. Our sonar is running just to give us some advance warning of torpedoes, because as I said, it is a very long range sonar, and we've only seen 1 destroyer so far. He's gone. Somebody has killed another destroyer. I didn't see where that happened. And looking at the map here, we've got 1 destroyer all the way out on the left flank, down at the bottom right hand side corner of the mini-map, and we've got 1 destroyer all the way out on the right flank. He's currently tucked behind that island at the top left hand corner of the mini-map, and I'm sat here straight in the middle of the map, being an absolute pain in the butt. Now, even though it does appear that we were fairly evenly matched for ships on this side of the map, it's all starting to come undone a little bit. Red team have got the Bismarck in the middle of the cap. They've got another ship in there as well. And I'm thinking, no, this is all going to go horribly wrong. But we get another fire on the Bismarck, we get 2 torpedoes on another ship, we're going to keep on the guns there, and the Bismarck disappears. Monarch is flooding, the damage is ticking, and I'm now looking around thinking, what do I do now? My smoke screen is about to run out, so as long as it was, its use is over. And now we're going to have to play pretty close to the edge of detectability to position ourselves now to try and do something else on this capture point. And I'm looking here, it's 3 ships against 2, well, 3 ships against 3 because I'm here as well. But there are going to be some feet put wrong. And these guys are obviously communicating and focus and fire. I can't reset that capture point anymore. It would have been nice even if just one of those battleships had been able to touch the ring and contest it, just to give me the opportunity to get in position. As I said, if you can't take a cap, you can at least try and contest it, but that's not going to happen here. We've got a salvo of torpedoes going. We don't get the kill on the Monarch. I think he was ticking with a fire, but somebody else picks the kill up there. And we are going to be robbed a little bit on kills in this game, because even though it turns out really well for me in the end, Yeah, there's a little bit of sneaky goes on in this one, I think, and a little bit unfortunate. But there we go. Torpedoes running on the Monarch, and I'm thinking of pushing forward here. The second set of running for him, but then looking at the smoke, I'm thinking, oh god, no, he's coming forwards now. He's pushing into this cap because it's 2 against 1 as far as the battleships are going, and these guys are going to take him out. He comes round the corner of that island broadside. 2 Monarchs bow tanking him, and I've heard from people who regularly play battleships that the Monarch is one of the strongest at its tier and can be exceptionally devastating. Now I pop my smoke thinking I can set this smoke screen, I can get guns on this guy and I can burn him down. But you know what? I can't, because he just got himself killed, which means the minute this guy is out of concealment, smoke concealment penalty, he will disappear, and he's turning to run me down. He is burning, he is ticking, but it is time for me to move. I have around 100 meters to play with there on the concealment, so we need to open up a gap. I want him to tick down. If you look at our other destroyer there, he's all the way at the bottom end of the minimap now. And he has played well on the flank. He's got those 90-knot torpedoes. I think it's the Ostergotland. And he is spamming those out there. And I'm thinking, just what do I do here? And I don't run quick enough. And I get myself spotted momentarily. And the Monarch manages to damage control that fire right before he burns out. Now, we're not going to leave that guy with a sliver of help. We lose the Akatsuki to the Ochikov, and so we are down on points. Ostergotland tries to pull a kill there, but we'll get the killing blow, and we take a salvo from the North Carolina and land a single torpedo on him, which gets us a flood. And we are detected now, but look at the minimap. On the left-hand side of the minimap now, we've got the Ochikov pushing across. I think it's a Champagne behind us now. And so even though I'm on guns, I want to get this guy on fire because he is just damage control. And that fire will tick and burn him down just that little bit further. But at the same time, I'm having to be aware of the ships that are behind me and twist and turn. Angle to the North Carolina, turn out, there's a fire. And there is the Champagne right behind us. So he's put a salvo on. He's only got 2 turrets, and that's probably a bit of a saviour for me here because he hasn't got as many guns. We are trying to drop detection. We're looking around to see what we can do. It's 2 destroyers against 2 battleships. But we are down on points, we are down on capture points, and it is not looking good because we're down on ships too. We've broken through 100,000 damage with that fire ticking on the North Carolina. And I asked that other destroyer to push in to that capture point. You know, he can help to finish off that North Carolina as well. But it almost feels like, like I'm doing the work for him. And, me being spotted and being out here is putting these red team ships into position for this guy to take advantage of it. We drop a high caliber at 111,000, so that fire is still ticking, but there we go. It's just been put out. We've got a salvo of torpedoes about to start running on the Champagne, but I don't realise that there's a hugely fast salvo coming in from the other destroyer, and the Champagne turns. I decide to try and distract him, but he goes down there to the Ostergotlands. We're still behind because we need the capture points. The OG is running back towards that cap, and this is the only way we can take it because that battleship has got to be nearly dead. The Ochikov takes a salvo there, and there are just over 3 minutes left on the map, but there we go. Red team are into Bravo Cap 2. That means the destroyer is there. What do we do? We're going to have to be brave and stupid again, aren't we? Just like we were the last game. And, we're asking the question of ourselves again, why is there still a radar cruiser alive at this stage of the game? Battleship captains, please prioritise your targets. Radar cruisers are a nightmare. We know they can be difficult to hit when they're playing agile builds, but take their points down as much as you can. Make them not want to come forward and challenge capture points. This Ochikov, all I can hope is that he has burned all his radars and I'm not going to get lit up like a Christmas tree as I try to push in and defend this cap, but it doesn't look like I'm going to make it. There's the North Carolina. He's got a couple of bars of health left. I think that the Ostergotland, if he can get a fire or a torpedo on him, he can take him out of the game. He does get reset on that cap, which means that the North Carolina is shooting at him. And I'm asking our last battleship to please put fire on the Ochikov, because although I'm not located, Russian cruiser commanders do have a thing that tells you which direction the nearest target is, and again I get myself detected, so I think, what the hell, he is distracted. I need to keep him off our battleship and give our battleship the opportunity to get a shot at this guy. So he's missed one salvo of torpedoes, the other salvo are running, we're on guns, and we get very, very lucky there. The North Carolina is gone. We pull a lead barely, and so we're on 4 kills, 124,000 damage. Can we take the Fletcher for a Kraken? And RNG is absolutely going to annoy the heck out of us at this range. The Fletcher could probably gun me down and pull the win back for their team, but it's always impossible. But there we go. We narrowly miss those torpedoes, and one of the reasons I don't use the short range torpedoes on this is because of the prevalence of radar, long range sonar and long range secondaries at the higher tiers. You would have to get in far too close. Fletcher's got himself spotted by our battleship. He takes some shots. It is literally going to be the fastest finger first here, but the Ostergotland picks up the kill, denying us a Kraken, but between us we pulled together the win. So 4 kills, 125,000 damage. We only get the 1 cap on that one, but again, it was a cap that helped us to control the game with our position on the map. 3,019 base XP on that one. So it's always good to break 2.5 to have a decent game. Breaking 3,000 is just that little bit better. So I hope you've enjoyed watching these 2 videos back to back. If you watched this one first, go back and watch Down to the Wire, because it is equally as good. Don't forget to smash the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of the game. Subscribe to the channel, and if you want to, you can make a donation or take up a membership to the channel as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.